it got really bad.
Okay.
And I knew it had to end.
Yeah.
As much as I really wanted to keep the relationship for the sake, especially for the sake of my son. That is what I used to. That was my pain point.
Yeah.
Not even so much that I want this man. Of course, I wanted the relationship, but more, I wanted my kids to have a father. I didn't want to be a single mom. I didn't want them to be fatherless. And so, 2021, it came to an end. Now again, moved in with mom. Yes. Yes. So, so mom is there. I'm broken. I was so broken. I never knew a day would come that I'm smile, and the smile is from my heart.
Yeah.
I used to ask my mom to think I'll ever laugh again. That's how broken I was. It was horrible. So at this time, we are married, but still there's no satisfaction for me. I'm trying to have kids. They're not having kids. We go to hospital, and now he's told he can't have kids. And remember, now in the relationship where he came from, his dissatisfaction was that they were not able to have kids because they had been in that relationship for close to 9 years.
Okay.
But he thought the issue was, he didn't think, because he already knew even by the time he was marrying that she couldn't have kids. Little did he know even he couldn't have kids. So I am there. I am now desperate for a child, thinking, I've quit my job. I've started this NGO. God is using me to help this young girl. I used to be an advocate for anti-abortion. So I would help these young girls who are gotten pregnant and they want to get an abortion, and I work with them, like practically, get for them clothes, get for them a place to stay, get for them, work with them until they give birth, pay for their whatever fee to give birth, and then get for them clothes for the baby, all that. But still no satisfaction. Then I discovered it's a relationship. And now here I am, torn, because I don't want this man who's been so good to me to feel like I've left him because he can't have kids. And generally I'm a very loyal person. So it was so difficult for me to come out. And people would tell me, just go and get a kid. Just go somewhere too and get a baby. But that wasn't me. And by this time I'm born again. So, and I'm taking it very seriously as much as I was a baby Christian. But then in my 5th year is when now we are living in separate rooms. I've tried to tell him I have to leave. I'm preparing myself psychologically. I'm listening to a whole lot of this sermon. Actually, this sermon for Pastor Torre, I must have listened to it more than maybe 100 times. It took me a year to get out. A year of us now being separate, and now eventually, finally, I was able to get out. And so I got out, and now she was that he couldn't give it to. The issue was it wasn't sitting right with me. I felt like I took him from somebody, where I took him from, that's where he belonged. It was so apparent. In my spirit, I knew I had done something wrong. And it wasn't condemnation per se. It was more like I'm in the wrong place. And I took all the blame onto myself, and I said, you did this, Kanana. It's you. Of course, it takes two to make a mistake like that. But for me, I took it on me. I said, you're the one who made him leave. And so I told him, I'm done. I can't be able to go on with this. And so it took me a year to get out. So now I'm back to living with my mom. Yes, back to living with my mom. And it was 2 years. 2 years of living very far, interior of Kajiado. You leave the highway, because at that time, remember, I'm not working. Mom is not working. I have a car, yes, I had gone to school and learned baking.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a job and not getting any. And Kitambo used to get jobs just like that.
Yeah.
But I think God was like, okay, this one, you keep quitting jobs like that just because I'm giving them to you, let me. Yeah, so I tried getting jobs. Well, I was still spoiled because at some point I got a job with a really good company and quit it, and it was a month.
Okay. Yeah.
And they were even giving me fuel, 25,000 fuel, nini. But just because it was a silk job again, I quit. So now we're in Kajiado. I have my I used to call it a Dudu. It was the testimony car.
Yeah.
So we're in Kajiado, interior of Kajiado, and it was like 7 kilometers from the main road. So you drive 7 kilometers to get to their house where we were living. And in this place, it was a very weird place. It's like a community.
Okay.
They are nice houses.
Okay.
Like I said, they are decent houses, but there's like they have different neighborhoods within the same community.
Yeah.
So some neighborhoods were composed of people from the slum, and so there would be a whole lot of crime.
Okay.
But thank God we were not robbed or anything. Mom and I.
Yeah.
But I at that point I still followed God. Like I went after God with all my heart. I would actually drive twice. I'll drive twice a week. I'll drive from Kajiado to Ridgeways, because there's a church that I found that was doing deliverance in Ridgeways. And I thought to myself, I need deliverance. I definitely need deliverance. So twice a week I'll drive all the way. Sometimes I wouldn't even have enough fuel. So I went for deliverance for like 2 years, going after God, like rain or shine. Because sometimes in that place, it would rain and then it would flood. And what would flood is like there was a bridge, and it was so bad that it used to carry people, even in their cars, and people drown in their cars. And that's how bad it was. So it used to, so when it would, if you're on the other side, let's say if you're across the bridge and it rains and our homes are the other side, then you wouldn't be able to cross. So you'd spend the night in your car, for lucky if you have a car. So through all that, I still used to go every single week, not twice a week. And I went after God with all my heart. Then I remember after 2 years, I got a job where I'm working right now. So I got this job, and it is where I met my second serious relationship. Or rather, my last serious relationship. Last, most recently get to now the right one. It's the right one, hopefully by the grace of God. So I've gone through all this. I'm born again. I've been born again for a few years now. I'm going after God. But still, I feel not good enough. And not really able to pinpoint and say, Kanana, you feel like you're not good enough. I never knew that that's an issue that I had. And it was such a big deal. And so all this time, anybody would come along and really like show true interest, I'll just give in. So we met at the company that I'm working for right now, and I remember at first I was like, no. By the time I was going to work for this company, I knew very well in my spirit, and I used to speak it out and say, I will never date anybody in this company. I knew, but for some reason, I went against my better judgment and just gave in. Because this guy went after me with all his heart. He came after me and he sending people, friends, to talk to me, convince me, name it. But I'm told that's what men do. They love to chase. They love the chase, especially when they think they can't attain you. So they love the chase. Well, I hadn't known that. So I gave in, and that's how I ended up with my amazing boys were absolutely in love. So we started dating. By that time, we were moved from Nairobi to Eldoret. And I by the time we were leaving Nairobi, he had requested to meet my mom and tell her that you'd like to live with me. And not knowing any better, I also wanted the same.
Okay.
And so we moved. Now I even met his family also. It was during a function, and I met his family. And that we moved to Eldoret, and we started living together.
Okay.
And I think it was within the first 2 months or so, I got pregnant. But for me, it wasn't a horrible thing. It was a welcome thing. Because I really wanted kids.
Yeah.
And then beautiful thing, I later, like a few weeks down the line, I found out, they're twins.
Yeah.
Twin boys.
Yeah.
So I was excited. I was really excited, but he was very scared.
Oh, him.
Okay. He was very scared. For me, now I know when a man tells you that he's not ready for kids, or he's not ready for marriage, believe him.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Okay.
Then I hadn't known. Now I know because I've taken time to work on myself, and God has given me the opportunity for Him to work on me and show me a few things. Yeah. So back then, when you were saying I'm not ready for kids, I'm like, babe, it should be beautiful.
Yeah.
Imagine our babies, So I'll take it as a joke and try to convince him to get kids.
Yeah.
And for sure he wasn't ready, because it was beautiful the first year. Actually, even all through my pregnancy, he took care of me.
Yeah.
You're vomiting.
Yeah.
He's doing all the work of wiping the vomit and doing all the dirty work. He's not showing me any animosity or anything like that. It was nice and beautiful, and I was happy, genuinely happy. And I got the baby, and they were healthy and awesome and beautiful. And the first, I think, 6 months was so helpful.
Oh.
I mean, you'd be working. For us, we're given like 5 months of leave.
Yeah.
So I wasn't working, and of course you have twins, they're not sleeping, so it's difficult.
Yeah.
So he's going to work and coming home to a sleepless night, and still he was very pleasant, very helpful. And I still, even of course I was very broken, and so all these little telltale signs would show, and one of them would be that in every single relationship I needed to be assured and reassured that you love me every single day, every single phone call. You have to tell me I love you. But it's one thing it's not a bad thing to tell your wife that, hey, I love you. Even as you end your conversation, you're like, I love you. But it's another thing when you're pouring into bottomless pit. And I was that bottomless pit. I needed to be reassured, I love you, you're beautiful. And it wasn't enough. It was never enough. And so he was still coping with all that, or trying to. And now we were like the it couple, goals, the couple goals, in the company, where we were working. And so 6 months after the boys were born, now is when the relationship got really toxic. Not, of course, going into too much detail, but yes, it got really toxic. And by the time the boys were turning a year, we were separate ways. And now here it was, with twin boys. I'm alone. I'm in a place I thought I would never be, a single mom. And that's one thing that was really breaking me. My sons now, they don't have a father. It looks like there's a cycle that is now repeating, and so every time that this man would go and come back and say, I'm sorry, I'd still give him a chance, again and again. But now at some point in 2021, they got really bad. And I knew it had to end. As much as I really wanted to keep the relationship for the sake, especially for the sake of my son. That is what I used to. That was my pain point. Not even so much that I want this man. Of course, I wanted the relationship, but more, I wanted my kids to have a father. I didn't want to be a single mom. I didn't want them to be fatherless. And so, 2021, it came to an end. And now I requested the company to move me officially from Eldoret to Nairobi.
Okay.
And now I moved to Nairobi. Now again moved in with mom. Yes. Yes. So mom is there. I'm broken. I was so broken. I never knew a day would come that I'm smile, and the smile is from my heart.
Yeah.
I used to ask my mom to think I'll never laugh again. That's how broken I was. It was horrible. And that's when I remember all of my friends who had worked with me during the last year of the relationship. Her name is Yvonne, an amazing woman of God. Should give me an ear and just listen to me and pray with me. And she would welcome me to her home. And she even tried, her and her husband tried to salvage the relationship, but it wasn't possible. And when it came to an end, she then walked with me the journey of now healing. So now I'm in Nairobi, my first Sunday in Nairobi, and now I'm like, where do I go to? Which church do I go to? Do I go back to the Rejoice church? Somehow it didn't feel like that's where I should go. So my friend Yvonne calls me and tells me, have you gone to church? And I tell her, no, because I really don't know what church to go to. And I'm crying, and I'm broken. And she goes like, go to JCC, Parkland. Pastor Kathy has an anointing for healing broken. And I was like, what? Pastor Kathy, are you sure? Like, you want me to go to the CUNA? So she tells me her story. Okay, she had shared a bit of her story, but we had never gotten to a place where she told me how she got the healing. And because she told me how she got her healing, because she had already shared her story with me. Now she was sharing with me how she got her healing. So me, in that church is where I found my healing. And that's how I got convinced to join JCC Parkland. So in JCC Parklands, I'll go, oh my God, I'll go every single meeting. Everyone. I'll cry. And my cry to God was, heal me. Please heal me. Heal me. And God had me. He did. Because now in 2022 is when God now started showing me what's wrong. Okay. He started showing me you're going into these relationships, these wrong relationships, because you're broken, because you're carrying a whole lot of hurt and pain from your past. And unless you heal from that, even if you got married to the president, even if I gave you home for a husband, it would still break that. And so now I got to understand it. And at that point is when now Yvonne, same friend, started advertising for a class. A class, she called it From Stuck to Blooming. Stuck to Bloom. And so I was like, I feel stuck in every area of my life. At that point, I was so stuck. And so I was very eager. I'm the kind of person who's very eager to go after knowledge. If you tell me this will sort you out, if you know this and you'll get better, I want to do it. So I was like, yes. And she was charging even for the classes, but I was like, it's okay. I will pay. I'm willing, So I went for the classes, and little did I know that's when God would really introduce me to myself. That's when God showed me who I am. He told me, he showed me my personality, taught me how to love myself, opened my eyes to see that I'm beautiful. Because before I used to look at myself in the mirror and say, perhaps if I was as light as my cousin so, my dad would love me. If my lips were not so big, my dad would love me. Literally, in front of a mirror, I'll do that. Maybe if I wasn't so tall, then my parents would love me. And so that was, so God gave me, it's like being, I don't know how I can explain it to somebody to understand, but it's like a blind person who starts to see for the first time, and they can see color, they can see, wow. That's how I got to see myself. So sometimes people come across me and even when someone tells me, Kanana, you're beautiful, I go like, oh, thank you. they think we are kona maringo, but I have just gotten to know me, and I'm appreciating. I'm really appreciating that I'm beautiful. And so women, we are all beautiful, you know. So for me, I'm in a place where now I can. You're only confirming what I already know. And so during this time, I even got to know my purpose. I got to know that I've gone through all these things so that I can be a comfort and a help to another woman, to pull them from where I was and walk with them and tell them and really get to relate with them, because I've been there. I've been from one relationship to another. I've gotten children out of wedlock. I've drank. I've done. I had made a mess of my life because I didn't know. My identity had been stripped completely. And so, yes. So that's how I got to know the Canada to be garden. Yes.
I'm tempted to ask, so after God introducing you to yourself, kindly remind us of your sweet Mama.
Yes. And so now I can with confidence say that my name is Anne Kanama. I am born again. I'm a passionate, insightful, reliable, born leader, meaning I'm just a natural born leader who loves to lead by example and enjoys to help others become the best of themselves, especially women.
That's what I feel. Yeah, so beautiful, and it comes from your heart. You're not just saying it from your lips.
So, by the way, one of the things that God has done in my life, as much as at some point I kept feeling like maybe I can just have a relationship with my mom, So because I used to feel like we are not getting to a place where we are understanding each other, we are like getting along 24/7, no fights, and nothing but fights happen in every family. People disagree all the time. But as much as I wanted to just stay far away, God has made sure that every single time, Mom and I, our paths are always crossing. And I believe He wanted for both of us to reconcile, heal, because honestly, my mom has been of such great help for me. Even after giving birth, even when all this was happening, she never turned her back to me. One of the things I can say, thank you, Mom, so much for you've always been there for me, especially after I've given birth. You never turned your back to me. You were with me from the day just before the boys were born and after they were born, and the sleepless nights and the struggles of raising two tiny little human beings. And to this point, every single time I don't have a house girl, you come to my aid. You've been so good to my children. That's everything, and I'm so grateful. Thank you. Also, I remember even the times that I never used to have a job, like when we were living in Kajiado. Now, Mom had to get a job at some point as a teacher because she's a really good teacher, and she used to be the one to feed us. Feed us, and I remember she would even take food from the kiosk, like what do you call it, copper, so that she can feed us. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Thank you, Mom, for that. And I'm grateful for you, and I thank God for you. And you are such a blessing to me, regardless of the parts. You're an amazing one. And thank you.
So she's an amazing shosho.
She's an amazing shosho. Oh, and her grandkids love her so for and she's very supportive to me, because can you imagine when you don't have a house girl and you have a job and you have kids? I mean, you can't pose either if you didn't have help. She's been such a support. I'm so grateful.
Okay, so probably the last question. So after all of this has happened, would you say you've gotten to a place where you have forgiven her for all the times you felt like she wasn't there for you?
Yes. Thanks be to God. I can say by the grace of God that I forgive her. And we're in a place where now we are getting to understand each other and respect each other's person. You don't have to be like me and I don't have to be like you, but that doesn't mean we can still get along even in our differences. Even with our differences, we can still.
Wow, we thank God for your man. And we thank God for everything that He is doing in your lives. Because you have broken a cycle that will continue. Amen. Yes, so we thank God for forgiving them. You guys are going far. Amen. God bless. Well, so maybe you can talk to us more. Someone probably who has been in a place where you're coming from. Or someone who is even there right now, or who may find themselves there. There are even other people who will watch and they have not been there. They may not even get there. But they need to stand with a girl, a sister girl who's in the same place. Who needs comfort, who needs to be loved, who needs to know that they are beautiful. What can I say to them?
You know, what I can say is when you meet somebody, let's say, for example, when you see a girl who is going from one relationship to another, and you're thinking you're in church, you are born again, you are like, you're supposed to be knowing what is right and what is wrong, but you seem to be doing the wrong thing. Most of us tend to judge, but what I would say is most of those girls are broken, and they're broken because of their past, the wounds that they're carrying. And so what you need to realize is you need to walk with them to a place where they know themselves. Because if you don't know yourself, you will self-sabotage every single good thing that comes your way. You will follow any way the wind blows and any person, because if you don't have a direction, you can be moved to any direction anybody tells you to go. So I would say walk with them, get to know their story, they may not even know exactly at what point they got broken, but through you creating a safe place for them to talk and for them to share their story, and in that process with time, then they will get to see and pinpoint by the grace of God where they got broken, and then they can seek for the healing of that broken place, of those wounds. And then when those wounds are now healed, then now these girls can get to know who they are. Why was I created? Who does God say I am? When you go, I used to do a whole lot of personality tests, but I never used to believe, like internally, I never believed that those things were me. But now when I do personality tests, I'm like, it's just a confirmation of who I already know I am. So it's a matter of equipping them with giving them a safe place, and equipping them with a whole lot of knowledge for them to know who they are. So don't judge. So I feel like you spoke to the person who may know someone in a similar place. What would you say to a girl maybe who has just found out that they're pregnant, out of wedlock, or one who is struggling in their marriage because of maybe identity crisis or issues like that? What can you say to them? Well, I would say, don't give up. It's never too late. You haven't made so many mistakes that God can give up on you. So it's taken me so many years, but finally God has showed me who I am. And so don't give up. Keep seeking for God because without God, we can never really know who we are, because He's our beginning. We created in His image. Only He can be able to reveal to us who we are. So as long as you're seeking God, at some point He's going to open your eyes and you'll see who you are. First of all, you need to know you're beautiful. Whether you believe it or not, right now, you are beautiful. Secondly, you are worthy. And so because you're worthy, you shouldn't let just anything and anyone into your life. Those wrong relationships that you may have gotten into or are currently in, it's not the end of you. You'll still make it through. But I want you to make it through a better person. And so you need to begin to get to know yourself. Like self-introspect or self-analyze yourself and get to know why am I here? What got me here? Because we are quick to say, my husband is the one who is doing this to me. He's a drunk. He is a womanizer. But for you to end up with a drunk and a womanizer, and you already know that's who they are, it means you don't value yourself, first of all, because you attract who you are, who you believe you are. So once you heal and you get to know who you are, then now you don't just allow just anybody or anything or people. You don't have to say yes to each one, to every person who comes after you. You can't say no. Then that's something I never knew. So once you know your worth, then it will click.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So it's never too late. Just hang on and keep going after God. He's just the beginning and the end of your healing.
So, yeah. Wow, that is so powerful. Thank you so much. I feel like I should give you a minute to just say a word of prayer. For them. Are you comfortable?
Yes, that's okay.
I'll have to do.
Okay. Lord, thank you. Thank you for the time that you had. Thank you for every single person, every girl, every woman, young or old, who's going to listen to this testimony. Jehovah, may it bring you all the glory and all the honor, because only you can open a blind woman's eyes and they get to see themselves for who you created them to be. Pray for that person, that young girl, that woman, that lady who is in a situation that they are not able to come out of, and they feel that it's probably the end. That's the end. That's it. But I know that Jehovah, you are well able to bring them out of those situations, because you did it for me. Please do it for them, Lord. Introduce them to themselves. Give them the blueprint of who you created them as. When you created each and every one of us, you give us a unique identity and a unique expression of you, Lord. So let them find that unique expression of you in them, and let them enjoy being your daughter and having you for a father, and let them enjoy knowing that you created a masterpiece in them. Holy Spirit, would you visit each and every one of them, under the sound of my voice, each and every one of them, visit them and bring a healing. Wash them from the top of their heads to the soles of their feet with your healing balm. And just walk with them and lead them to the correct places where they can get help, and where they can get guidance, and where they can take the steps to healing and the steps to discovering who you created in them. I pray this in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Canada. It was so touching. It was beautiful. We've laughed. We have learned a lot, and I pray that the people who will be watching will get to learn a lot. And it will help at least someone to know that they're not alone and they're beautiful. So God will bless you for that. Amen. So our beloved viewers, thank you so very much. The Bible says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made in the image and in the likeness of God. So it doesn't matter what the world says about beauty. It doesn't matter what the people around you have said about how you look, or whether you're bright or you're too dark, you're too tall, you're too big, or you're too what. It does not matter. What matters is what God says about you. What does God say concerning your identity? What is your purpose in this life? So do not give up on life because of what people are saying or because of the situations that's around you. Let your focus be upon God, because God loves us equally. He's not an respecter of persons. He doesn't look at Kanana and love her better than you. He doesn't look at me and love me better than you. He loves us equally because He is a loving Father. Make sure if you're in such a situation, get someone to walk with. Make sure it is someone of God. Like Kanana went to JCC Parklands because she had heard that Cassie would has a heart for women like that, and which is very true, because majority of us have begun at her feet, and we have learned a lot. We have been mentored to be able to take care of other women in our stations, and we thank God for our beloved mom. We love her so much. Even Kathy, I know she may not, I'm not sure if she will watch it, but we love her so dearly. We thank God for the day she got born again. We thank God for the support that our bishop gives her, and we are so grateful because we are who we are because of her love and her support. In Jesus' name, God bless you so much. Thank you so much for watching again. Make sure if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like and to share with as many people as you can. In Jesus' name, God bless you. See you next time. Make sure to be watching every Friday at 5 p.m. God bless you. Shalom. Love you so much. Thank you.